Hello, viewers. A very good afternoon and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And this afternoon, let us explore and take a look on what has happened in the nation of Zimbabwe recently. President Advocate Nelson Chamisa has responded to the head of state and government, Adv Mnangagwa, following a declaration of state of disaster after the 2023-2024 season was hit by El Nino. So let us take a look onto the response by the citizens' President Advocate Nelson Chamisa, who is the main opposition leader in the nation of Zimbabwe. And addressing his followers and the nation at large, he indicated that we have what he calls a leadership drought in Zimbabwe. So in an ex-post, he said, drought in Zimbabwe has become a perennial challenge evidenced by the persistent extreme weather conditions. Poverty, disease, cholera also characterize our national perils. These all constitute major threats to our national security. It's like we are stuck in a time loop since 0708. This point leads to leadership failure. So this is what President Advocate Nelson Chamisa, and he has characterized what is happening in the nation of Zimbabwe as a security concern, and clearly categorized all these as the threats to national security of Zimbabwe. He went further to say declaring a state of emergency after the fact is too little, too late, lame, and lacking. We have ignored warnings from experts, including United Nations, World Health Organization, World Food Program, and our own meteorological teams, who gave these warnings more than a year ago. Our lack of preparedness shows that the drought of leadership and strategy is our biggest drought hazard. We have got dams, but they are underdeveloped, silting up with no desilting plans. We have too many undeveloped dam sites. We lack the right water harnessing and harvesting plants. Other countries with less rainfall manage better. With the right leadership and proper governance, Zimbabwe would be evergreen. We have a great deal of Zimbabwe, the green agenda revolution. Climate smart solutions need proactive strategy, not a reactive policy. Our water systems and land use needs effective management for preservation and sustainability. Declaring disaster late is no solution. Lives have been lost and continue to be lost. The policies are floppy, sloppy, slow, and weak. We are ready to provide the leadership that acts, not react. We must resolve the drought of leadership. Zimbabwe deserves better. We must fix the broken politics, resolve the disputed elections conundrum, reverse the rigged elections scourge, and restore majority rule. Zimbabwe needs a citizens' government, one people. This is what President Advocate Nelson Chamisa said today, the 4th of April. And we need to critically take a look on key points he raised. He criticized the government in terms of how they responded to this El Nino. Remember, we started to hear about El Nino long before we started farming. Last year, even before the elections, El Nino was being talked about. But nobody cared to make sure that we have enough sufficient irrigation land underutilization. The government of Zimbabwe has refused or has neglected rural people, particularly those living in the dry regions of Zimbabwe, because of lame policies. I'm going to give you one example. The Water Act states that all the water belongs to the president. For you to have a sustainable bowl right now, you need to apply to ZINWA for you to be able to do farming using a bowl. For you to be doing farming using demo water, ZINWA will come and fine you, which is also being treated as a criminal activity. You are somebody who is trying to harness water, which is flowing and being lost to the sea. You are trying to take that water, use it efficiently, do your farming, do your irrigation. ZINWA will come, it will fine you. It has been happening, especially in the low-veiled areas. So I can tell you that the last dams we have, I think Tokwe Mukosi and Mutirikwi. Then downstream, the Runde River, the Mutirikwi River, you will not have any dams and they will flow directly to the sea. And we have water which is flowing all year round through these rivers, and it is being lost. It is not being harnessed by the farmers around to be using it effectively and efficiently. Just imagine if all the areas of Chiredzi, Chilonga, all the areas of Mwenezi, the Mashingo south part, if all these areas were running efficient irrigation schemes. Just imagine the villagers there, if we're given enough sufficient water to do the irrigation, where were we going to be as a country? We would have planned to say, okay, we are going to have double cropping, where we are going to have maize twice. You can plant maize in August in these areas because the temperatures there are conducive. You can plant maize in August, and thereby in December you harvest. You then put maize again for the second time. That is in January, and you harvest around April, May. Then you have to place another crop for the winter. That can be sustained, that can be done, and that can be worked on. I have seen a lot of people talking about crop rotation, etc. Go to Tangwati Hullets. They grow sugar over and over and over and over and over and over and over for a very long period of time because they have employed recent technological advanced systems, which makes it possible for them to be doing so. So we can also utilize these areas effectively and efficiently if we have a government with a plan. That is the problem we have. If you take a look on the Lowveld, if you take a look on Matabeleland regions, Mat South, Mat North, those are the problems we have. Also in other areas, we have areas where mining has been taking place. In all these areas, we have places where mining has been taking place. There is a lot of water in those mines, which can be utilized by villagers to do farming. A lot of water, which can be utilized by villagers to do irrigation farming. There is no clear plan to make sure that disused mines are used to draw that water and use it for irrigation. There is no plan from the government. There is no initiative from the government to make sure that where there are no dams, we can use these facilities to make sure that we do the farming. What you need at a mine is to make sure that you have sufficient pumps. And when you have sufficient pumps, particularly, you can use solar-powered pumping systems. And it will be great. I can tell you, for example, in the Mashava area, there is a lot of water which is not being utilized at this moment in time. In Shabani, a lot of underground water which is not being utilized at this moment in time. What is needed is to take the samples of that water, go into the labs, check if there are no chemicals in that water, find the solution to remove the chemicals, harmful chemicals, if there are any. Then you start utilizing those water bodies for irrigation purposes exclusively. So you see that this is something very important, but we simply need people with ideas and people with policies. I can tell you, areas around Tokwe Mukosi, they were supposed to be evergreen. The areas of Mwenezi, Chiredzi, they were supposed to be evergreen, but they are ever dry because the government lacks direction. If you take a look on the policy of the Rhodesian government, they were earmarking the Lowveld to be the green belt of the nation of Zimbabwe. And they wanted to complement that to the Matabeleland region by the introduction of another dam called Rundetende Dam. But now they're talking about building that dam, provide water to Mozambique, provide water to South Africa. And they're not even talking about providing water to the people around such areas to make sure that there is sufficient irrigation happening. So that is the problem we have with this government. They are always reactive and they do not think before things happen. This is what is happening. This is what President Nelson Chamisa said. And I was trying to unpack, in my own view, what he was talking about. So he clearly talks about climate smart solutions, which need proactive strategy, not reactive policy. And he speaks about effective water systems and land use, which just need effective management for the preservation and sustainability. And we can do it if we are serious. Just imagine if we had a policy where we allow local companies who sell sand to say, okay, we are allowing you at no tax, no duty, no whatever, to remove sand in suited dams for the uses for resale, or we are going to give you a commission if you manage to do that. We were going to have all those companies going in to take sand from these dams, desuit these dams, and then the nation was going to benefit. So all those issues, they need to be addressed, but we do not have the people who are willing to be doing so. So this is at least something very, very important to note at this moment in time. Because the companies are shrinking, broken politics, everything, salaries, health, education, transport, etc. Stolen elections damage people's lives. Bad politics destroy good businesses. Bad leaders in government shrink great companies. So this is what is happening, and we hope that we are going to have a sustainable Zimbabwe for all. I have seen people in the rural areas, they are eager to work, they are eager to make money, but the government we have is running around seeking investors, foreign direct investment. They are not even targeting domestic direct investment. How are we going to have internal growth without our people being involved at the center of making money? And that is the challenge we have. That is the problem we have. But the major reason why they do so is because they want to keep everybody poor so that they keep manipulating people. It's easy to manipulate poor people than to manipulate rich or wealthy people. That is a fact. So it is what it is. We'll continue to watch and see how the government is going to react. These are powerful presentations made by President Advocate Nelson Chamisa. And I need your views. Let us have a conversation. What do you think about the reference term, a leadership drought in Zimbabwe, as referenced by President Advocate Nelson Chamisa? He pins everything on leadership failure. What are your thoughts?